Production funding for Making It Up North is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
All right, are we ready to run anything?
It's one shot, and then the next night we do it, and it's an incredible feeling, and it's awesome.
Why do you do what you do? I count it all for you. One for the money.
Just watch people when they come in and look at it and feel it, and then sit down, and then the lights go up and they're in it.
This scene coming up is actually a bit lighter in tone. Music is such a part of how we experience films. There's always some style of music that can work for any film.
We bring you now another thrilling tale of high adventure in the Wild West, filled with love, betrayal, and coconut horses.
When we first started, it was a lot more kind of Duluth-centered, and recently, this season, it's one continuous Western that we're doing that's set, in a completely different time and place, but with the same characters throughout the whole thing.
We begin our journey once again with our intrepid band of weary travelers, Marshal Zatch, Deputy Rick, elegant high-priced prostitute Mary, Billy That Kid, and a dog named Gunshot.
I'm Blake Thomas. I'm the head producer and writer of Take It With You, which is a live radio podcast that we do once a month here in Duluth, Minnesota. We're going into our 6th season of doing this. We just did our 45th show.
Look, I know it sounds barbaric, but he was a sweet man at heart. He just loved me to death.
We're in rehearsal for Take It With You. We're doing that tomorrow.
Flashback! Wait,
No, it doesn't happen yet. Because we haven't met Thimble yet. Sorry.
This episode I will just say, these characters that we've been living with come across a traveling circus, and chaos ensues.
Being in the circus is amazing, and we love each other. Being in the circus is amazing, and we love, and we love, and we love, and we love, and we...
In a lot of ways, it's just been a big love fest from the start, so that's pretty cool. The people that come to the shows is kind of all over the map.
Well, that was some good ham.
Said Zatch. Sure was. Said Mary, and they were both right. It was good ham. Another good ham breakfast morning.
Well, we best get on the trail.
Said Zatch.
Reckon we should.
Said Rick.
Come along, Billy, my kid.
Said Rick.
Okay, Rick Dad.
Said Billy That Kid. Said Gunshot the dog.
Up on the wagon
Said
now.
Rick.
Buckboard.
Said Zatch.
Here we go now, my kid.
Said Rick.
Whee! I'm on the wagon now.
Said Billy That Kid.
Buckboard.
Said Zatch.
Oh, Marshall.
Said Mary.
Yeah!
Said Zatch. Said Brandy, too. And then no one spoke for some time.
We do a fair bit of cursing and things in our show, and being a little out there sometimes. And it's amazing to talk to people who are a little older and have them enjoy it so much. And I don't know why they wouldn't, but there is that fear of offending people, but that fear is pretty much gone now because we've been able to keep doing it, so that's nice.
And I know some of you right now are thinking, why? Why are you mentioning a sexual dream that Billy That Kid had? It's seemingly terribly inappropriate. But the thing is, it truly illustrated to Rick Dad what it will really mean to be a Rick Dad.
I've gotten away from really thinking about the audience to a certain extent. And it's been, this year has been going great, and we've had some wonderful shows, so I think it's a good model. Yeah.
What a life you have in store for you, little one.
I just hope she doesn't become a prostitute. That is, unless it's her lifelong dream, in which case they're just fine with me. Yes, it is.
One of my favorite things, and it's always been this about Take It With You, is the element of pulling back that curtain and allowing the imperfections to come out.
It's my line. It is your
The cast of Take It With You is just phenomenal. Like, I don't want to work with a different group of people.
Why do you do what you do? I count it all for you. 1 for the money, 2 for the money, 3 for the money, with all the damn money. 1 for the money, 2 for the money, 3 for the money, with all the damn money, yeah.
It's always a dilemma having to come up with funding to really pay for everybody. And like, one of our missions from the very beginning was to try to pay everyone the best that we can.
Someday, with love on our side, we'll build on the dream of a life where we all live in peace, and the mountains that surround us will wrap their arms around us. There'll be no need for money or gold. We'll sail on the porches, our children grow old in this heaven we provide. With love on our side, we can move mountains.
To me, success would be wonderful to somehow get to a place where, we're like alive from here, where we're, doing those size theaters, but that doesn't even necessarily mean success. For me, it's more, let's just keep growing. I'm just proud of what we do, so we'll see what happens.
Just watch people when they come in and look at it and feel it, and then sit down, and then the lights go up and they're in it. My name is Curtis Phillip. I'm the set designer for Steel Magnolias at the Duluth Playhouse. Julie and I, we met for lunch and just kind of talked. And then I just started gathering research and imagery, books or magazines, and just find images that I like. And then she came up with the she shed idea, which I had never heard of. So once she said she shed and showed me pictures on Facebook of her own little shed, that's when it clicked to me that these people are younger, they're collecting their memories and their dreams, and they're kind of living in that world, and that's sort of what that image is, she has her own things. So that's how this design came about. It is very collaborative. I and most designers can't just make up a world by themselves, because we don't live in it. The actors and the directors live in it.
It's kind of a process that just sort of starts from gathering ideas. He's very open and interested in what everyone has to say and what the directors have for a vision. He'll kind of take it back and he'll play with his ideas, and he'll come in with something crazy. And then we'll say, okay, that might be a little bit too crazy. Let's settle that down a little bit. He'll take it back. He'll come back with something else. And eventually we end up with just some really cool, interesting designs that aren't typical. They're not what you expect to see when you come see a show.
First paying design job was Bristol Valley Theater in Naples, New York, town I grew up in. We got paid $140 a week. What I learned was community. What I learned were friends and people, and how to, as a group, create something. While we were building the sets at night, they were downstairs acting, and while they were on stage acting, we were down sleeping. So it's almost like camp, but it wasn't. These were professional people that we were connecting with and working with, and some are still good friends today, and that was 20 years ago. Yeah, community. It's a huge, important part of my life, is creating it together. That's a really collaborative thing to work with a shop, someone who's going to build it for us. The shop here is awesome, and they're artistic, so they know how to build it. They know kind of what my intentions are. Even if I might screw something up or might design it in a weird way, they know how to fix it.
typically in the production process, one of the first things you sort of start focusing on is your scenic design. Once you're past the point where you have a scenic design, all the other designers can kind of design on top of that. The director can start staging on top of that, but that's kind of your canvas that you start working from.
This is the plan. This is the theater itself, all of that. And then this is the furniture and scenery on stage from a top view. It's done in a CAD program called Vectorworks. And then these are actually the walls that are drafted. And then this is the house. And this is the shop's version of it, so they've drawn on this. I love that. I think it's absolutely beautiful. But this is how they collaborate with me. And you can tell the love that they have to do it. That's my favorite part. So when I work with other people, to see how much they actually attach themselves to things. You spend so much time just like feeling it, looking at it, and adjusting it and changing it, then you do kind of get a little attached to it. Yesterday it was just the shell, it was just bare. And once we applied this another layer onto it, this other element, that's when it becomes a home.
That's kind of the interesting thing about Curtis's designs is they're usually very flushed out like this. It's very lived in. It feels like you're in a place that actually exists.
The first show I ever did here was Scrooge that someone else designed, and I bought that, so I try to keep using it over and over again. And the owl is from a show we did last year that we never used, actually on the set. And I vowed I would use it from now on, so I put it in every show that we do here. I tend to dress sets, and I like to do that a lot. The idea of the she shed, the idea of the world that we created, is a mixture of Truvy, which is the salon owner's name. It's her memories put together. But we wanted memories of her son and kids kind of spread throughout the room. And then even her husband's items were kind of stuffed in the corner, and then she shoved them all into one area, like his fishing equipment and his cooler and his box of beer.
Without all the set dressing, it still looks great, but you know, that just kind of is the final little detail that really makes you feel at home.
There are two things that'll go on stage later that I always put in every show. So I'm not gonna, I can't give the answer. And then preview night, I'll be upstairs and watch it a little bit, and that's when I know we're done.
I'm sure they weren't expecting that.
This film is about people who fall in love with life-size dolls and even marry them in their own way. So needless to say, it was one of the most interesting and crazy projects I've ever gotten to work on. My name's Charlie McCarron. I'll be your composer host for the evening. And as you can see, we have an amazing group of musicians from the Duluth Superior Symphony Orchestra. So thank you for being here. Myself, I do film scoring, and lately it's been a lot of documentary scoring.
It just looks so natural. Oh, she is so pretty. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, that's it.
I do have to feel something about the film that makes me think, oh yeah, there's a moment of humanity here that, you know, they captured, and I want to help make that even better.
You look at everything so upbeat. You laugh so beautifully.
You know, intros are the hardest thing to do as a composer because you have to get that tone exactly right. This example is kind of my sound palette that I came up with. For these sound palettes, you don't always have to compose them to picture. Like, for example, in the documentary Love Them First that I worked on, I ended up making about 40 minutes of music without even trying to time it to anything. And the advantage of that is the director can then use those pieces where they think it might fit, and it adds to the cohesiveness of the whole score.
Now you'll definitely feel it.
Beneath the Ink, that is a beautiful short film about a tattoo artist who covers up racist tattoos for people who change their lives around.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much, man. You're awesome.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
I had a bunch of temporary music in Beneath the Ink, and I showed it at our local documentary club down in Minneapolis. And Charlie was there, and
I saw his rough cut of Beneath the Ink, and I thought, wow, this is unbelievable.
Afterwards, he came up to me and he was like, where's your music from? And I was like, it's all catalog music right now. And he's like, I'll work on it.
Like overnight, I did some music for it, and then
he wanted to get started on it, and like the next morning, next day, you know, he had music for me to slide in. So I mean, it was perfect.
You know, they're not here, but that doesn't mean I can't make them proud. I want to make them proud. I want to make my kids proud.
We ended up going on this crazy ride with Cy to see Beneath Ink get nominated for an Emmy and go to 100 or more festivals and win maybe most of them. I don't know.
I'm just going to keep trying to, you know, day by day, make the world just maybe a little bit better of a place, if it's possible.
It's really fun to work with a composer and like not knowing what you're going to get, and then they're like, hey, I sent you a file, and then you know you put it in where the time code starts or whatever, and then like you just listen to it, and it's just cool to see somebody else's you know, impression of what you're making and like how they bring it to life with their music.
Music is such a part of how we experience films. One of the great things about working with live players is that they can change the tone of what I have written on the page. So let's try it again with a little bit more staccato notes and possibly a bit lighter and quieter. There's always like some style of music that can work for any film and draw out those emotions a little more, or tell you something about these characters that you can't see just on the surface. Once I had a director over and I said, okay, well, I'm not quite getting it. Let me just try something. And I just played one note, and it was a bass note. And the director said, yes, that's it. And I thought, wow, that was so easy. And like if we had tried to talk it out, it would have taken another hour.
He gave me $1,200 to buy another stackable washer and dryer.
Well, the old one broke. Can you
Just out of the clear blue sky. He said him and his wife sat down and talked about it, and they decided that they should help me because I'm always helping everyone else.
Something that young composers have to learn to get over is ego. Like any other artist, you do have to figure out a way to not be offended when someone says, oh, sorry, that thing you spent 20 hours on, we have to cut it. Try again. But maybe I'll take it and put it on a B-sides album, because I do that. If there's one takeaway, I guess think about inflection points as you're writing or editing, and maybe your composer is thinking along those same lines too, and you can find a common language.
Yeah, I mean,
Is he not wonderful or what?
well,
They are wonderful.
if she didn't tell us about doing the metal.
Yeah, if someone said, oh yeah, in 10 years you're going to be writing music for a movie about a tattoo artist who covers up racist tattoos, or people who fall in love with life-size dolls and marry them. There's been so many crazy projects I've gotten to work on.
I mean, it doesn't get any prettier than this. It's just nice and warm. The sunshine is mellow. It's not harsh.
It's kind of nice because I step in mostly at the end of the project, and after they've done all this work of making a documentary or a film, and I get to just like put the icing on the cake.
And you can tell the love that they have to do it. That's my favorite part. So when I work with other people, is to see how much they actually attach themselves to things.
As composers, we're often introverted, and we just want to work on music in our room. But that's my push to composers, is to get out there and meet filmmakers.
I just keep learning as I go. I believe in it, and it's amazing. And so, we'll just do it and see what happens.